Who's that?
That's you, Joe? Okay. Gemara says, Gemara is discussing, Mishnah says, Emad likim b'shemen serefa b'yom tov. You're not allowed to light with shemen serefa on Yom Tov. What's shemen serefa? The Gemara explains that shemen serefa is shemen of terumah that became tameh. Normally shemen terumah, the kohen could do anything he wants with it. He could eat it, he could burn it, he could put it on his salad, that's all okay. Now, it became tameh. Now that it became tameh, you're not allowed to eat, you're not allowed to, what's it called? You're not allowed to eat it. Got him in Gemara. Even though it's Torah Shabbat Heh, we like to learn it b'chtav. Right? So, because you're not allowed to burn, because you're not allowed to eat terumah, that's tameh. But we'll see that you're allowed to burn it and use it for light. So the Gemara is asking, why can't you burn it on Yom Tov? I'm lighting candles. I'm allowed to light candles on Yom Tov as long as I use an existing flame. So why can't I light shemen terumah on Yom Tov? So Rav Ashi says, the Gemara says the reason is because you can't burn kodashim on Yom Tov. You're not allowed to burn kodashim, meaning if you have a korban that became tameh, you can't eat it anymore either. What do you do with it? Burn it. If you have a korban that's overtime, called notar, you have to burn it, like it says, vanotar, v'notar memenu ad boker, va'esh tisrovu. Now, burning a korban is a mitzvah. It says in the Torah, you have to burn it if it's no good. On Yom Tov, you're allowed to make a fire. But what kind of fire is you allowed to make on Yom Tov? L'tzorech. What? Esh to esh. But I can't just burn anything. So they say guy's a pyromaniac. He likes watching fires, so he wants to burn ants on Yom Tov. He's like, I can't just burn anything you want. Right? You're only allowed to burn ach asher ya'achel lechol nefesh hu levado ya'aseh lachem. What you eat. So why would we think we could burn kodashim on Yom Tov? Because it's a mitzvah. Maybe for the mitzvah, you're allowed to burn it. So we'll say that aseh, the mitzvah taseh of burning the kodashim, dohe lo ta'aseh, pushes off a negative commandment. On the bottom of Kaf Dalet Amud Bet, let's start. Rav Ashi Amar Rav Ashi says, Shabbaton aseh, v'havale Yom Tov aseh v'lo ta'aseh. Normally it says on Yom Tov, right? Shabbaton lo ta'aseh melacha. You can't do work, so we assume that doing work on Yom Tov is a lo ta'aseh. Torah says don't do it. In certain cases, a mitzvah ta'aseh pushes off a lo ta'aseh. For example, what's a classic example of a mitzvah ta'aseh pushing off a lo ta'aseh? Classic. What is it pushing off? Very good, but that needed a special pasuk, but yeah. That's a little bit more because normally a mitzvah ta'aseh doesn't push off something that has kareh, but that's true. What's another example? Or the classic example? We'll see it on the next page. Come on, Isaac. The classic example of aseh doche lo ta'aseh. Albert, the classic example of aseh doche lo ta'aseh. He just woke up. Kelayim betzitzit. Thank you, Sefi. Kelayim betzitzit, meaning midoraita. The blue string has to be made of wool. The other strings can be made from other things, from linen even. But the blue string has to be made from wool. That's the definition of techelet. Even though techelet means blue, it also means blue wool. And midoraita, you have to put tzitzit even on a linen garment. We'll see on the second side of the page a whole story about it. But midoraita, so the Torah says, it says, Lo tilbash sha'atnez semer upishtim yachdav gedilim ta'aseh lecha. Right? That teaches you that even though normally you can't make sha'ad, you can't wear sha'adnez, but by gedilim ta'aseh lecha, by tzitzit, sometimes it's suspended. Aseh, the mitzvah ta'aseh of tzitzit, pushes off the law ta'aseh of not wearing sha'adnez. So normally an aseh will push off a law ta'aseh. So the mitzvah ta'aseh of burning kilai, of burning kodashim, should push off the law ta'aseh of Yom Tov. But over here it says Shabbaton. The question is, what does Shabbaton mean? Rav Ashi says, you know what Shabbaton means? Rest. It's a mitzvah ta'aseh to rest. Now I have a mitzvah lo ta'aseh, not to do work, and a mitzvah ta'aseh to rest. When I'm going to burn the kodashim, I'm not only going against the lo ta'aseh, which I could get. I'm going against the Naseh. So if you tell me that a Aseh is stronger than a Lo Ta'aseh and it could push it off, that's good. But now that Yom Tov also has a mitzvah Ta'aseh on top of it, why should this Aseh push off that Aseh? So therefore it doesn't work. Havale Yom Tov, Aseh v'lo Ta'aseh, ve'en Aseh, regular Aseh is not toheh et Lo Ta'aseh ve'aseh. B'Yom Tov hu da'asur. Now the Gemara says, so you're not allowed to burn terumah, that's tameh. Oil of terumah, that's tameh for light on Yom Tov. Ha behol shapir dami, but you're allowed to burn it on a weekday. My ta'amah. Why are you allowed to use it? Well, how do I know I'm not allowed to eat it? If I'm not allowed to eat it, maybe I'm also not allowed to burn it. Amarav, keshem shemitzvah lisrof hakodashim shenitmeu. Just like it's a mitzvah to burn kodashim, which became tameh, kach mitzvah lisrof et terumah shenitmet. So too, it's a mitzvah to burn terumah that became tameh. Okay, it's a mitzvah. Ve'amra Torah, the Torah told us, b'shat bi'urah, as you're burning it, tehenem mimena, you should benefit from it. Yeah, I don't know, where's that pasuk? Heichan amra Torah, where did the Torah say that you can benefit from the terumah when you're burning it? Midrav Nachman, the Amar of Nachman, Amar Rabba Baravua, Amar Kira, Va'ani hine natati lecha, he's talking to Aaron, I, behold, have given to you, et mishmeret terumotai. Terumotai doesn't, not terumati. Terumati would mean my one terumah. Terumotai, two terumot. What's two terumot? Oh, you're going to say how many different types of food there are? There's 800 types of food. So what does it mean, terumotai? Two types of terumah. Right? B'shtei terumot hakatu medaber. Achat terumah tehora, v'achat terumah teme'ah. One is terumah which is tahor, and one is terumah which is tameh. So now, so the Torah says, I told you to watch my terumah which is tameh, meaning follow the laws that apply to it. Ve'amar rahmana lecha, meaning hine natati lecha, I gave it to you. In what way is it mine? In what way is it mine? If I have to burn it, what way is it mine? Ve'amra Torah lecha shelcha teheh. For what? Lahasika tahat tavshilcha. You could burn it, you could use it to cook your food. You could burn it, you could use it for light. In that way, it's mine. So I do have some usage for it. I don't have full usage, but I still have some usage. So that's one makor to say that I'm allowed to use terumah that's tameh when I'm burning it. I'm allowed to benefit from it. Is that it says lecha, natati lecha. V'i bait ema. As opposed to, for example, the Gemara talks about kil'eh hakerem. Right, kil'eh hakerem is if you have a grapevine, and in the vineyard you planted wheat. That wheat grows in the vineyard. It's kil'eh hakerem. It's asur b'hana'ah. You can't benefit from it. Not only can't you benefit from it, you can't. When you burn it, if you burn that, it's asur. You cannot let it bake bread as you're burning that. Even though I'm burning it, I can't benefit from it. So over here, the Torah gave you a special exception. Even though you have to burn it, you're allowed to benefit when you're burning it. V'ba'it eimam. If you want, I'll give you another answer. You know how I know you're allowed to use it? Mid Rabbi Abhu. The Amar Rabbi Abhu, Amar Rabbi Yohanan. Now we have a pasuk by Ma'aser Sheni, right? We have Ma'aser Sheni, a person takes Ma'aser Sheni, he brings his older Ma'aser Sheni, you have to eat in Yerushalayim. And you have to eat it when you're tahor. So person, when he grows the food in his Yerusha in Eretz Yisrael, so he grows fruit. First he has to take 2% and give it to Kohen, Terumah. Then he takes 10% and he gives it to the Levi. That's called Ma'aser Rishon. Then in year 1 and 2 of the Shemitah cycle, and 4 and 5, he takes the second 10%. That second 10% belongs to him. What does he have to do with it? He has to eat it in Yerushalayim. So when you go up to Yerushalayim on the holidays, you take it with you. Now you have food to eat. You don't want to stay? Leave it. Someone else will eat it over there. They'll give it in the yeshiva. They'll eat it over there. Don't worry about it. So that's Ma'aser Sheni. Now, if Ma'aser Sheni becomes Tameh, you're not allowed to eat it. So at the end of the 3-year cycle, you have to go get up and make a declaration. like when you come in by customs. But this one you're making in front of Hashem. He knows if you're lying. It says, "V'lo bi'arti mimenu b'tameh." You have to declare that I did not bi'arti. What's the word bi'arti? Burn. I didn't burn it when I'm tameh. Mimenu from ma'aser. Mimenu. It's like a mi'ut. From it. Mimenu iyata mav'ir. You're not allowed to burn ma'aser sheni when you're tameh. Avalata mav'ir shemen shel teruma shenitmet. But you're allowed to burn shemen of teruma that's tameh. We have a mi'ut. It says don't burn this when you're tameh. But you're allowed to burn other things when it's tameh. Meaning you're not allowed to enjoy it as you're burning it. So, avalata mav'ir shemen shel teruma shenitmet. Says Gemara, I don't see anything where it says shemen shel teruma on that pasuk. Maybe the right way to learn is like this: ve'ema mimenu iyata mav'ir. You can't burn from it. Avalata mav'ir shemen shel kodesh shenitma. Maybe it means avalata mav'ir shemen shel kodesh shenitma. You're allowed to burn shemen of kodesh that became tameh. Who says only shemen of teruma? Let's say I have shemen that was from a korban, the leftover shemen from a nazir. That's kodesh. That was part of a korban. That's a higher level of kedusha. Maybe I could burn that when it's tameh. Look, kal v'chomer. So right, lav kal v'chomeru. Ma ma'aser akal. Ma'aser is less than teruma. It's also less than kodesh. Amra Torah lo bi'arti mimenu b'tameh. If you can't burn ma'aser when it's tameh, kodesh hamur lo koshken. Certainly you can't burn kodesh when it's tameh. Ihachi, if you're going to make a kal v'chomer, teruma nami leima kal v'chomer. The same kal v'chomer if you're saying to tell me that you can't burn kodesh when it's tameh, because kodesh is much more hamur than ma'aser. Say the same thing teruma. Teruma is also much more hamur than ma'aser. Says Gemara.
What's he supposed to do when it's tameh?
What?
What's he supposed to do with it when it's
Ma'aser?
Yeah.
Get rid of it. Burn it. But you can't burn it and use it. Burn it and be arti, meaning burn it and you use it.
But you could burn it.
Yeah. Umara ita. So he said, haketi mimenu. Now what do you mean? I have one pasuk tells me something is not like teruma. I mean something is not like ma'aser sheni. I'm not allowed to use it when I'm burning it when it's tameh. The pasuk said by ma'aser sheni, there's something else that you are allowed to use it when you're burning it when it's tameh. Only one thing. So I have two other things that I could learn to. I could learn it to teruma, I could exclude teruma, and I could exclude kodesh. Right? One of them I'm gonna exclude, and the other one is gonna be included from a kal v'chomer. It's even worse. Who told you to say you're allowed to use the teruma and not use the kodesh? Say the opposite. Say you're allowed to use the kodesh and not use the teruma.
Why are we only excluding one, Bob?
Because
Mimenu is including only one, not excluding one.
Very good question. Maybe say mimenu only this, everything else is mutar, but have a kal v'chomer. So therefore the kal v'chomer tells me, limit, you have a chidush. The chidush is something else is okay. Limit that chidush.
So if I learn it onto Kodesh, then Terumah could fall into...
Then I can't prove two. You can't prove two. You can only prove one. The mi'ut is a pass for one thing. You can get one thing out of this. Because since the mi'ut could be one, if you're going to take two, tafasta merubeh, lo tafasta. Who told you to take two? Especially when I have a kal v'chomer. So I have to only take one. Which one am I going to take? So now the Gemara says, well, let's see which one. We're going to decide which one is more hamur and which one is less hamur. The Gemara gives some interesting simanim. Ihachi teruma nami lema kal v'chomer haketiv mimenu umara ita. So why do you decide to include kodesh that it's asur and to exclude teruma and say it's mutar? So Gemara says kodesh lo mema'atina sheken siman. What's the siman? So you see it over there? Pancakes, right?
He's dreaming.
Pancakes. Pancakes. Fanak akas. I like pancakes better. Right? Panak akas. So the Gemara gives a siman. Pigul. Kodesh could become pigul. What's pigul? When you plan on eating it, Tosafot says over here, pigul is different than the rest of Shas. When you plan on eating it out of the place. If you slaughtered a korban, and you know that the rules are that you have to eat it in the Beit HaMikdash, but you're tired, you want to go eat it at home. Or you want to eat it outside Yerushalayim if it's Kadashim Kalim. So you say, you're slaughtering it. Then after you make the shechita, you get excited. You say, you know something? I'll do it the right way. I'm going to eat it here in the Beit HaMikdash. It's already pasul. Because you had in mind when you slaughtered it to do the right way. That's what he's calling pigul. Tosafot says it's chutz limkomo. Notar. On the thought.
It's the thought. Right.
The thought. I'm eating it in the right place. It's asur. So that's a humrah. That if Kodesh is so holy that if I thought to eat it in the wrong place, it's no good. Notar. If I thought to eat it in the wrong time, you're only allowed to eat the korban for 1 or 2 days, depending on the korban. You said, but the next night I'm having company. I'm going to serve them some korban. The whole korban becomes pasul. That's a tremendous humrah. So now I already have 2 humrot. That if you thought to eat it in the wrong place, and you thought to eat it in the wrong time. Korban. It has a shem korban. That's also a humrah. Me'ilah. A korban has a humrah that if a zar uses it, korban, sorry. If a person uses kodesh when he's not supposed to, he's over on me'ilah, he has to bring a special korban. Karet. Karet, if a person eats it when he's tameh, he gets karet. Whereas terumah, you don't get karet, you only get mitabi de shamayim. Yamav niksa. Rashi says, Rashi has a chidush. Tosfot argues over here. But Rashi says that what's the difference? We have a punishment called karet, and we have a punishment called, where the Torah says, mot yumat, or yamutu. Both of them, we're not talking when Beit Din is going to kill the guy. If Beit Din is going to kill the guy, that's the worst. Why? Because Beit Din doesn't accept teshuvah. Beit Din is they're not authorized for that. But we're talking when it says that Hashem is going to kill you. Sometimes it says, he karet, ti karet, or v'nichretu, cut off. The other time it says, yamutu, he's going to die. What's the difference? So Rashi throws out a line over here. Look in the Rashi there where it says, v'karet. V'karet, le'ochla betumat aguf. V'terumah is b'mitabi de shamayim. So he's telling you that Kodesh is more hamur than terumah, because Kodesh has karet, whereas terumah only has mitabi de shamayim. What's mitabi de shamayim? Yamav niksarim, he dies young. Aval eno holech ariri. What's holech ariri means? It was in last week's parasha. What? Ariri is no children. Right? Anochi holech ariri, no children. Avraham Avinu. Right? So Rashi says that by karet includes that he won't have children. Or that, God forbid, his children will die. Tosafot is not so happy. If you look in Tosafot, he says, karet, she'enu magia li-shishim shana. Karet is, he won't reach 60. Shumitat kol adam. Kedemashma b'shili moed katan. The Amar of Yosef, it says, Rav Yosef said, ki hava bar shitin shenim, when he got to 60, avad yomat aval l'rabanan, he made a seudah for the rabbis. Amar hashda nafki li mi karet. Now, I passed karet. Abaye said, "Nihid nafik more mi karet shane." Even though you passed the karet of years, mi karet yomem min nafak. Did you lose the karet of days? Pirush kida amar hatam. If a person dies too fast, it's also like a type of a karet. Now Tosafot, so he dies like in 1 or 2 days. That's crazy. It's not normal day. You need to be slowly. You don't have to be. Guy doesn't have to suffer, but he has to at least be, ease into it. The family's ready and so on.
I start to see things coming.
Right. Umitabi de shamayim en lazman kavua. Mitabi de shamayim doesn't have a set time. Ela shemet b'shvil avon zeh. He dies because of this sin. Afilu en biyado avon acher. Even without other sins. Va'afilu leman da'amar yesh mita belochet. B'shvil avon zeh yiktziru yamav. They're going to shorten his days. Now, if you skip down, he says, okay, whatever. So Tosfot argues on this business. That this difference is ariri. He says karet is definitely not getting to 60. Miteh b'shamayim is any time. Okay.
Here we're learning online to make a birthday when it's 60, right?
Yes. Refuah shlema for Moshe ben Evelyn. The Gemara says more.
What's the difference then?
What?
Guy could get mitad shamayim
Anytime. Maybe at 65.
But it could happen at 40.
That's true, but it's not kavua. Karet could also be at 40. Doesn't mean at 59 and a half.
No, so what's the difference then?
Meaning you won't reach 60.
If they're nothing to do with the
Mitabi de shamayim could be after also.
So then what's it? There's two different words for the same thing? Or there has to be two separate punishments. There has to be two separate.
There's two different categories.
There has to be a difference.
Let's continue. Adraba, let's see. So we have pigul, notar, korban, me'ilah, karet, and the samech is for asur. Asur leonen. Kodesh, you're not allowed to eat it. God forbid, a guy who has a relative that passed away, he's onen. He's not b'simcha, he's not allowed to eat it. Adraba, the opposite. Teruma lo mema'atina. Teruma also has chumrot. What's terumot chumrot? Mahpaz. Siman, mita. Teruma, if you eat it b'tumat aguf, you get mita b'dei shamayim. Homesh, if a zar eats teruma, he has to pay it back plus a homesh. And lo pidyon. Kodesh, many times you can redeem it. If you have a korban, garamum, you can redeem it, make it not kodesh. Teruma, once something is teruma, there's no way you can buy it out and unteruma it. Ve'asura lezarim. No, if you're not a kohen, you can never eat teruma. Whereas korbanot, a lot of korbanot could be eaten by zarim.
Pidyon is humrah or kula?
Oh, and la pidyon is a humrah. It's unredeemable. Whereas kodesh sometimes is redeemable.
It makes you still have the hayuv on giving it. When you're able to...
Once I make, no, if I make something kodesh, so it's there, I redeem it. This item is not kodesh. So now you want to know which is this item which is kodesh more hamur or less hamur? It's less hamur because it's not 100%. It could be unkodeshed. Whereas the terumah can never be unterumah. You can never get it out of the state of being terumah. So which one is more solid? The one that's non-transferable. So the Gemara says, Hanach nefishan. In the end, pancakes is 6 and mahbaz is 4. So which one is more hamur kodesh? So when we're going to say the one that you can't benefit from your burning, we'll say it's kodesh. The one that we're going to say you could benefit when it's burning is going to be terumah. V'i ba'it eima. Kodesh hamur sheken anush karet. Either way, I'll say, or I could say, stam, just the fact that kodesh has a punishment of karet, that in itself is more. That's more hamur than mita b'dei shamayim. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak Amar Kira, he says like this, the pasuk says, Titen lo velo leoro. Give it to him, don't give it to his fire. That's a pasuk by Terumah. It says, you have to give the terumah to the kohen, right? Titen lo, obviously. I know I'm giving it to the kohen. What's lo? Lo velo leoro. Give him something he could use. Don't give him something that he can't use. Look in Rashi. He says, Reshit deganecha titen lo velo leoro. That's terumah. Mikan, we learn from here, she'en tormim min hatameh al hatahor. You just harvested your field. You have a certain group of stuff that became tameh. Say, great, I'll give it to the Kohen. Right? Nice guy. Right? So you say, Titen lo, you have to give it to him, has to be something he could use. Titen lo velo leoro. So of course you want to get away with giving him the tameh stuff. Mikan, from here we learn, she'en tormim min hatameh al hatahor dichtiv titen lo, davar hara'ui lo le'echol. Velo latet leoro, not to give to his fire to burn. Since we have to exclude his fire, you see that he's allowed to burn it for himself. If not, it's not even giving it to him. You're just putting an expense on him. Rabbi Ishmael says, "En madlikim be'etran mipnei kavod Shabbat." Right? You're not allowed to light with kerosene for kavod Shabbat. What's the kavod Shabbat? My ta'ama. What's the reason? Amar Rava. Mitoch shereho ra, because it ran stinks. What? Right, ziftu atran. Right? Mitoch shereho ra. Jack, you got to bring a sample of the smell. Mitoch sherechora gezerah shema yanihena v'yetzeh. Maybe he'll leave it. I can't take it anymore. Everything tastes. You ever eat in a place that has everything you eat tastes like the bad smell, right? Mitoch sherechara gezerah shema yanihena v'yetzeh. He might leave it and go. Amar le'abaye v'yetzeh. So what? So what? What's about? Where does it say he can't leave? What? How am I over? Okay, so now he won't have a bad smell. Amar le she'ani omer. I say hadlakat ner b'Shabbat chova. I say you have to light the candle on Shabbat. So what does I mean? He did light the candle. He just left. So what? I lit the candle. He clearly doesn't mean to light it on Shabbat, right? Look at Rashi. Shani Omer Chova Kabod Shabbat Hu. Why? She'en Seuda Hashuva Ela B'makom Or Ke'en Yemama. Meaning you have to light the candles where? Where you're eating. The guy's going to be eating and he can't take it anymore. So now he's going to go eat in the dark. So the reason for lighting the candles, which was so you should eat by the light, is not going to be mitkayem. That's why mibnei kibud Shabbat. Because with Hoshesh, you're going to leave and eat not by the candles.
You light in a place that's where you don't eat, so it's not called no Shabbat.
L'chaura, it's not so good.
Why does Rashi throw in Ke'en Yemama?
I don't know. Tosfot says the same. Hadlakat ner b'Shabbat chova pirush b'mkom seuda. The chova she is od b'mkom haner. You have to eat where there's light. Mishum oneg. Aval ma'adlakat ner gufa lo have parich Abaye. Abaye wasn't asking that he doesn't think that you have to light. The pshita de chovahi, of course you have to light. The hatenan we learn, and we say it every week. Al shalosh averot nashim beto b'shat letan. Al she'enan zirirot b'hadlakat haner. Now, I don't know if that, I was thinking about it. Is that such a proof? Does the fact that it said that the lady doesn't like, she's not careful in lighting the candles, does that prove that I have to light candles? Or could we understand it differently? How else could you understand it without meaning that it's a chiyuv, to light candles?
She doesn't, she has to do it the right way.
Meaning?
That's really the
No, meaning she has to light by...
She has to light before sunset. If she's not careful, b'hadlakat haner, maybe she'll be mehalal Shabbat. Or that we wouldn't call that she's not careful with hadlakat haner. We'd say what? We'd say that very easy, guys. She lights the candles on Shabbat. She's chayav mitah. It's ABC.
So you could say the same thing by Nidah and by Halah. She's not careful.
It's exactly what it says. She's not careful in Nidah. She's not careful by Halah. Those things lead to chiyuv mitah. Why is it muchach to learn? Why is Tosfot learning that she's not careful with hadlakat haner means that she's not careful to light candles? Maybe she's not careful when she's lighting candles.
Everybody lights candles.
She didn't light if she lit it after.
She's not lighting after sunset.
Okay, same thing. But meaning, could you prove that you have to light? Maybe Tosfot thinks you could.
Not
I don't
lighting
know.
after sunset. That wasn't a.
How do you know?
And it's not comparable to Nidah with all the dinim and this and that.
I think it's more comparable. If a person's not careful when he dies, chayav mitah. If he's not careful, he's chayav mitah. So he says it's a chova. The Gemara says, Hadlakat ner b'Shabbat chova. Da amar Rav Nachman bar Zavda. Ve'amri la amar Rav Nachman bar Ava amar Rav. Hadlakat ner b'Shabbat chova. Rechitzat yadayim v'raglayim b'chamin arbit reshut. That's what it sounds like, right? Not even. Washing your hands and your feet with hot water. Arbit, meaning in the evening right before Shabbat. Before Shabbat. Reshut. Rashi actually is not so clear. Rashi says arbit leil Shabbat. But the truth is, it's not such a problem for Rashi. Because you're allowed to wash your hands and feet with water that was heated from before Shabbat. But the Gemara just doesn't fit like that. So in the Ran, Leil Shabbat, Arbit Leil Shabbat, come home from shul, there's a big tub of hot water, wash your hands and feet.
We're assuming that it was hot.
We're assuming the guy's not Mechalel Shabbat. Ma'im Shuhamu. Only the whole body is a Gezerah. In the Ran, when he quotes this, he says, Rehitzat Yadayim V'Raglayim Arbit Be'erev Shabbat. That's what, no. Explaining it differently. So that's Reshut. What does it mean? What does it mean Reshut? Does it mean optional? Do it if you want. Or does it mean Reshut, like Tefilat Arbit Reshut, where we said it's a mitzvah, but you could push it off for another mitzvah?
What's the mitzvah for you to wash your hands and feet on Friday night?
Ma?
What's the mitzvah?
What's the mitzvah to pray Arbit?
Praying Arbit.
The mitzvah is to be clean for Shabbat, no?
So that's before Friday.
Friday, or maybe Friday night. Maybe you feel clean if you shower Friday. I don't know. Says Gemara, V'ani Omer, and he says, V'ani Omer, and I say mitzvah. I say it's a mitzvah to wash yourself Friday afternoon. My mitzvah. What's the mitzvah? The Amar of Yehuda Amarav, Kach haya minhagol shel Rabbi Yehuda bar Ila'eh. This was the minhag of Rabbi Yehuda bar Ila'eh, Erev Shabbat, Friday afternoon. So Rashi that says that it's Friday night is a little difficult. Erev Shabbat, mevi'im lo areva mele'ah hamin. They would bring him a bowl full of hot water. V'rochetz panav yadav v'raglav. Now they added panav, right? Before that it was only yadayim v'raglayim. Now he washed his hands, his face and his feet. Umit'atef, he would wrap himself. V'yoshev besadinin hamesuyasim. Now sadin is a sheet. This is a linen sheet that had tzitzit on it. V'domeh lemalach Hashem tzevaot. No. It was a talet made. Sadinim means a talet made of linen, right? Yoshev besadinim hametzuyatzim, wearing tzitzit. V'domeh lemalach Hashem tzevaot. He looked like a malach. V'hayu talmidav, his students, mehabin. So therefore, the mitzvah, you see that when Rabbi Yehuda would get ready for Shabbat, he would wash his hands, face, and feet with hot water. You see, that's part of the way to be mekabel Shabbat. V'domeh lemalach Hashem tzevaot. V'hayu talmidav, his students, mehabin mimenu kanfei kesutan. They would tuck the tzitzit corners into their pants. Why? Not because they were Sfaradim. Maybe. Amar lahem. Even Sfaradim, when you have a talet gadol, you don't stick it in, right? Amar lahem banai. Lo kach shan. So why they tuck him in? Because they didn't have tzitzit on their corners. They held that you're not supposed to put on linen. We'll see. The Gemara is going to explain. Amar lahem banai. Lo kach shaniti lachem. Didn't I teach you this mahloket? Sadim besisit. Linen and tzitzit. Bet Shammai potrim. Bet Shammai says it's patur. Why? Because you have to put techelet, like we said. Techelet is wool. Wool on linen is sha'adnez. Didn't we say that there's a pasuk, lo tilbash sha'adnez? Right? Gidilim ta'aseh lecha. So look in Rashi.
Have to be on wool?
Techelet by definition is wool. Techelet means blue wool. Techelet is not a color, it's a material. It's blue wool. They had techelet. In the Gemara? They had techelet. Gemara says, Bet Shammai potrim, look in Rashi. V'aval gav di tzitzit hovahu, even though tzitzit is a hovah, bekol talitot sheyesh lo le'adam. They hold that everybody, even the talitot you're not wearing, v'afilu munachim bekufsa. No. Hani de pishtam peturim. Mishum de klaim lo shara rahmana. The Torah did not allow klaim in tzitzit. The lo darshi smuchim. They say just because the two pesukim are next to each other doesn't mean that it's coming to tell you that this is mutar over here. We don't think so. Tosfot doesn't like that. Bet Shammai is not dorish smuchim. Should have said it's oser. Okay.
It was a linen sheet with what? With what kind of tzitzit? Linen tzitzit?
Who? Rav Yehuda? Yeah. He had linen tzitzit and wool, or wool, and blue wool. That's why Bet Shammai says you can't put it according to Rashi. Ve'inu u'bet Hillel mechayvin. And Bet Hillel says you hayav to wear tzitzit. Why? Because they're doresh semuchim. They say that the fact that the Torah says lo tilbash sha'anez Right? Gedilim ta'aseh lecha, one next to another, it's telling you that tzitzit, shatnez is mutar in the tzitzit, if you have to. V'halacha kedevrei bet Hillel. And the halacha is always like Hillel, so what's the problem? V'in hu savri, the students held, gezerah mishum kesut laila. Gezerah because of night clothing. What does it mean, night clothing? Because it says, uritem oto. And you should see the tzitzit. What does it say uritem oto for? To tell you that you only hayav in the tzitzit that you wear when you could see. The tzitzit that you wear when you can't see, clothing that you wear at night, is patur. Rashi learns clothing that you wear at night means pajamas. Look in Rashi. Ve'inu savri, talmidav shayu osrim, savur they hold. Nihid halacha ke bet Hillel. Even though the halacha is like bet Hillel. Ve'hayavin mi deoraita, and you have to wear them from the Torah. Miu Rabbanan gazurbu. The Chachamim said, don't put kilayim on tzitzit. Even though midoraita you have to, don't. Mishum gazur, mishum kesut laila. Because they're afraid of night clothes. Shem yehelo kesut shem yuhal lelelot. He'll have a nighttime talet. V'yatil bo tzitzit. He'll put tzitzit on it. V'nimtza lovesh kilayim shelo b'mkom mitzvah. Since this clothing is really not hayav in tzitzit, the tzitzit you put isn't a mitzvah. If it's not a mitzvah, the isur of sha'adnez wasn't pushed off.
What about using suit yom and wearing it at night?
So Rashi doesn't have a problem with that. It's only if it's miyuchad for ksut laila. The ksut laila lo mehayva betzitzit.
That should be a problem too.
No, dichtiv uritem oto. Ubivamo, it's a good question. Rashi doesn't learn like that. According to the Rambam, it's like that. Ubivamo parchinan. In Vamo it says, how could the Chachamim, if the Torah obligates you, how could the Chachamim say don't do it? They're telling you not to do mitzvah. V'chi bedim matnim la'akod davar min Torah leftor et hayav. How could they tell you you're patur if the Torah says chayav? Umeshani shev al ta'aseh shani. The bedin is allowed to tell you not to do a mitzvah when you're hayav. They're not allowed to tell you to do an avirah. But in order to protect you from an avirah, they even allowed to hold you back from a mitzvah. Classic example is lulav on Shabbat. We don't take it even when we're hayav. Or shofar on Shabbat. The bedin tells you not to.
Rabbi, so this would mean that you have to sleep with your tzitzit?
Also.
Would this mean that you would have to sleep with your tzitzit?
No, you don't have to, but according to this, according to Rashi, if you put your tzitzit on at night, you can make a beracha. Because clothing that you wear in the day is chayav even at night. The Gemara says, Vatiznach mishalom nafshi, nashiti tova, pasuk echa. Vatiznach mishalom nafshi, you pushed my soul away from peace. Nashiti tova, I missed good. My vatiznach mishalom nafshi, Amar Rabbi Abhu, ze hadlakat ner b'Shabbat. This is lighting the candle on Shabbat. Person has a light home on Shabbat. That's a tremendous good thing. So when Yirmiyah is going into Galut, he says, I missed Friday night coming home to a light house. Now I'm in Galut. I come home. I don't have candles. My house is dark. Nashiti toba. What did I miss? I missed good. Tov. That's the hadlakat ner. Why is tov hadlakat ner? Mishalom. Because mishalom nafshi. Because Friday night when it's light, it makes shalom bayit. It brings some peace in the home. If the husband comes home and he trips because there's no light, he's going to get upset. Once he's upset, he's going to fight with his wife. Amar Rabbi Abu that. Why the maid did not light again? Why the maid didn't light? Nashiti toba. Amar Rabbi Yirmiyah. But he's going to yell at his wife because she's supposed to tell the maid. Zu bet hamirchatz. Zu bet hamirchatz. This is the bathhouse. You see, the tova is going to wash before Shabbat. Rabbi Yonatan Amar. Zu rehitzat yadayim veraglayim. Or Rabbi Yohanan Amar. Zu rehitzat yadayim veraglayim. Washing your hands and your feet behamim with hot water. Rabbi Yitzchak Navka Amar. Zu mitana'a. V'kelim na'im she'aleha. The toba is nice chair or nice bed, nice sheets, everything comfortable for Friday night. Rabbi Abba Amar, zu mita mitza'at, the bed is made, v'isha mekushetet, and the wife looks beautiful, l'talmidei chachamim, v'talmidei chachamim. Why only talmidei chachamim? I don't know. We have to see. What? Friday night. Okay. Tanu Rabbanan. This is a very interesting piece. Tanu Rabbanan. Soli, bring the Ben Ish Hai. Ezeu Ashir, who's wealthy? Kol sheyesh lo nachat ruach be'oshro. Whoever zocheh to have enjoyment from his wealth. Divrei Rabbi Meir. That's what Rabbi Meir says. Sounds like Ezeu Ashir. Hasamech. It's a little bit different, right? Okay. See,
No, this could be
if the guy has what, right? Okay, right.
It means the guy could have a major.
He's able to enjoy it.
But he's so stressed out he can't enjoy it.
Correct. So he's telling you that you could have a guy that has millions of dollars,
Could be
but if he doesn't have, if he's not able to enjoy it, he's not wealthy. What's it worth?
Right, and he could be
That
Sameach
the
b'chakol.
majority don't have Nahat Ruach. He's telling you.
He didn't say what anybody has. He says if you're able to enjoy it, that's not, that's Oshir.
Something that's rare to find. It's not
Okay, I don't know. He didn't say it's rare. He didn't say it's not rare. He says this guy is, this guy isn't.
like, oh,
This guy, he didn't say it's rare. He said the guy that enjoys it is Ashir. The guy that doesn't is not.
Somebody is very cheap, he doesn't enjoy his money, how's it?
Also, maybe he enjoys holding it.
Yeah,
Okay. He just goes like this with the money. I don't know. Siman Matkas. Rabbi. Rashi says, Ezeu Ashir nafkamina lemitrach la'adura amilti. Try and get it. It's over. Further over. The next bookshelf. Next to Mishnayot. Siman Rabbi Tarfon Omer. Kol sheyesh. This is very interesting. Kol sheyesh lo me'a keramim u'me'a sadot u'me'a avadim she'ovdim bahen. He has 100 fields and 100 keramim, 100 vineyards, and he has 100 slaves to work them. That's an ashir.
He's giving quantity, yeah. Over the Ashro, it's not saying you're quantity.
Why 100? I don't know.
If it's 99, is that Ashir? Is that Sameach?
I don't know, Jack. Rabbi Akiva Omer. Rabbi Akiva says, this is for you, for the Hatan. Kol sheyesh lo isha na'eh b'ma'asim. If he has a good wife, what does it mean good wife? She's beautiful. She's beautiful in her deeds. That's a wealthy guy. Rabbi Yossi Omer.
He's talking about if your wife doesn't spend money, it's an Ashir.
Listen, Jack. Everybody could interpret it his way. Rabbi Yossi Omer. You ready for this one? This one almost everybody get. Kol sheyesh lo be'eta kiseh samuch l'shulchano. You know who's wealthy? The guy who has the tesh next to his table. Doesn't have to go far. No, he's wealthy. He has a good bathroom.
Shows you what their wealth got them.
Tanya. So open up the Maharsha. He says a nice piece.
Have your bathroom and your dining room.
In your dining room. Open the Maharsha. Open the Maharsha. Let's read. Here. On whatever page it is. It's on Daf Chaf Heh Amud Bet. In the Maharsha. You know what the Maharsha is? Right after the Gemara. A little more. This is the Rosh. Maharsha. A couple more pages. You have the same book as me. On page Chaf Bet.
Chaf Bet.
Is that it?
Chaf Bet in the Maharsha?
Yeah. Chaf Heh. Is it that it?
In this one.
Kol sheyesh lo me'avadim. The small letters over there somewhere. Right? Kol sheyesh lo nahat. Ayin piyush Rashi. V'yoter nir'eh lefaresh temairi be'osher sheyesh lo be'ashir, it should be. Sheyesh lo rav. It's not talk. Rashi says sameach be'chalko. He's happy with whatever he has. He's happy. He has a small little. He's happy. Rabbi Ben David made a story, told a story to illustrate how being wealthy is all in your head. He says like this. He says you have a guy. He lives in a small village. In this village, they don't have much. In his village, he's the wealthiest guy. Why is he the wealthiest guy? Because he has 2 pairs of shoes. Everybody else in town only has 1 pair. He has a pair of Shabbat shoes. So he comes to shul on Shabbat with Shabbat shoes. Everybody's jealous like you can't imagine. Look, there goes Peloni. He has 2 pairs of shoes. Wow. He walks around like this. Walks on Shabbat with his 2nd pair of shoes. He feels like he's on top of the world. He's the wealthiest guy in town. One day, he has business. He has to go into the big city. He goes into the big city. They're going to see a rich guy now. Walking in like this. As he gets into the big city, a big limo drives by, goes through a puddle, splashes him. Says, what? Me? As he's walking, he sees big mansions and big houses and that. He goes to town hall. He pays his bill. He goes back to his village. Now when he walks on Shabbat, he don't walk like this anymore. He walks like this. Why? Because he knows in the big city, there's a guy that has a limo, there's bigger houses, there's people that have 1,000 pairs of shoes. Now he's not happy. Anything changed in his life? Nothing changed. He still has 2 pairs of shoes. But now the only thing changed is that guy has more. Right? Right? That guy has more. 1 second. Okay, I know. Wait, Jack. Jack, calm down. Jack, calm down. Don't worry. Okay. Look in the Maharsha. I am Pirush Rashi. V'yotir nir'eh lefaresh. Temairi be'ashir. So Rashi said he's talking about a sameach bechilko. He's happy with what he has. So the guy that could say, what do I care what the other person has or doesn't have? What I have is good. I'm happy. What I have, I'm happy. Right? V'chemo she'amar Kohelet. Kohelet says, Gam kol ha'adam asher natan lo Elohim osher v'nechasim. You have a person that Hashem gave him wealth and properties. V'kabod. V'lo. V'hishlito le'echol mimeno. And he gave him the ability to use it. That's a good thing. That's what he means. Sheyesh lo nachat ruach be'oshro. Dahainu sheneheneh me'oshro. He's able to enjoy it. Ze mikre ashir. How do I know? Like it says in this pasuk, Ze matat Elohimhu. When a person has wealth and he's able to use it, that means that wealth was a gift from Hashem. But like we said, sometimes a person pushes to become wealthy, but it's not Hashem's thing, then Hashem says, okay, here's the money, but let's see if you can use it. Right? ובהפך איש אשר ייתן לו האלוהים עושר ולא ישליטנו האלוהים לאכול ממנו, זה הבל. That's nonsense. That's not called an ashir. כל שיש לו מעבדים, נראה לפרש דעות וסברות דהני תנאה. You with me, Joe? You don't have it. משום דיש עשיר, people try and get a lot of money for different reasons. יש עשיר שמאסף לכבוד, שיהיה לו שם בגדולים. Some people want to become wealthy because they want to be able to walk in and he can walk into the $1 million club or the $1 billion club. They want to be able to sit on that table. ולהיות נקרא עשיר, people should call them wealthy. ויש שמאסף עושר, some gather wealth, משום שחושב שצריך הרבה לפרנסת אשתו. He thinks he needs to support his wife. בשאר וכסות שחייב לה. I owe to buy her clothes. I have to buy her food. Right? She needs to go out to eat. Okay. ויש, the kids follow the wife. ויש שמאסף שחושב שיהיה צריך לו באם יבוא עליו חולי. Some guy says, I have to make money because God, you never know what's going to happen. I need to have a reserve for a rainy day. Maybe I'll be sick, I won't be able to work. שלא יצטרך לבריות. כאמר רבי טרפון, רבי טרפון says, כלפי מי שאוסף לכבוד, להיות נקרא עשיר. So he says, דרך מוזמה כאמר. He says, you want to be wealthy? You're not wealthy. שאינו נקרא עשיר, אלא שיש לו 100 כרמים. 100 and 100 and 100. Because why? There's always someone that's going to have more. You want to be the wealthiest guy. This guy 100. You're going to get to 100? Vuadim biyoter. De'ohev kesef. Lo yisba kesef. If you love money, you never have enough. Right? Ve'im ken lo yigia leta'avato li'od nikra ashir le'olam. If your reason is because you want to be the wealthiest, you want to have the most, you're never getting there. You might as well give up now. Enjoy what you have. That's one. Now you have the next guy. He says, but my wife, Rabbi, Shalom Bayit, she needs to buy jewelry and makeup. Why? It's never enough. You give her, she wants more. If his wife is good in her deeds, like who? Rabbi Akiva knows it. How does Rabbi Akiva know it? That was his wife. His wife was the daughter of the wealthiest man in the country. And yet she came to live with him, sleep on the straw.
Don't you have to provide for
Yes, if she demands it.
And that's the guy that we're talking
Okay. ואין מבקשת מבעלה. So who's אישה נאה? She doesn't ask. אין מבקשת מבעלה קישוטים ודי לו במועט ונקרא עשיר, like we say, השמח בחלקו. ונתכוון רבי עקיבא על אשתו. He was talking about his wife. בת כלבה שבוע שהייתה מסתפקת במועט. Right? Even when Rabbi Akiva came back after 24 years and she didn't have clothes, they offered to lend her clothes. She says, oh, Yodei Tzaddik Nefesh B'Mto. He knows who I am. And she didn't get dressed up. And when she came, he says, everything that I have and that you have is hers. וכלפי מי שחושב, the guy that thinks שהוא צריך לעשירות בעת שלא יהיה בריא, when he's not going to be healthy, כאמר דבר זה גם כן אין לו שיעור. You can guarantee anything. So what should you do? אלא אבל אמר שיהיה נקרא עשיר. How? The biggest wealth is good health. You can't buy it. So שישמור בריאותו, act healthily. How? יהיה לו בית הכיסא סמוך לשולחנו. If you have the bathroom next to your table, the Gemara says holding it in brings you to be sick. Go to the bathroom when you have to go to the bathroom. If it's far out, you're not going to go. And that's all. You need the key. That's one thing you need, the key to the executive bathroom. Because if you have that, you'll go. Right? Let's just finish up the page.
That's the main thing.
That's the most chashuv. Okay. Samuch l'shulchano. Moshe is going to, this Gemara is going to be in the next ed. Right? Rabbi Yossi Omer, Tanya Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar Omer, En madlikim betzori. You're not allowed to light with tsori. Tsori is a very good smelling oil. My ta'ama, Amar Rabba, mitoch shirechon odef. Right? Because it smells very good. Gezerah shemi istapek b'menu. The guy, he wants to put on perfume. The lady, she'll stick her finger in the nair and she'll put on perfume. Says the Gemara, Chayav, Mechabeh.
Taking oil out.
Amalei Abaya, Lema mor mipene shehu af. Let's say because it flies up and it goes on fire, right? Hada ve'od ka'amar. So one reason, because it gezerah that you might, what's it called? Ve'od, another reason, it's sakana. Right? Hada mipnei shu'af. One, because it like evaporates and it sticks to the walls and it's sakana. Ve'od gezerah shemistapek mimenu. Hahi hamta. There was a mother-in-law. Da'ave siniyah le'lekalta. She didn't like her daughter-in-law. Amra la, she told her, Zil. Wait till you hear what this one did. Amra la, Zil ikshit b'mishcha da'afarsema. Go put on afarsemon for your husband. Azla ikshit. She got and she, what's it called? She put it on. Ki atat, when she came and she was really, the afarsemon was on. Amra la zili itli sharga. Go light the candle. Azla itli sharga. Itnach ba nura v'achalten. She got burned by the fire. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen ve'amen. Bi Hananya ben Hakasha. Amen. Zakah Kadosh Baruch Hu.